Good morning, happy Thanksgiving. Today we're going to do a feel good flow to honor this beautiful holiday, one of my personal favorites. And we're going to do a feel good flow to sort of get our body ready to eat a delicious big meal tonight and also to get into the mood of the holiday season. So we're going to start with a gratitude meditation and then get into a feel good flow to sort of move all the joints and get our body ready. So whenever you're ready, we're going to start in a comfortable position for meditation. So make this your practice. Find your position that feels right. It can be a cross-legged position, maybe with a blanket on top, in the bottom of your sits bones, or maybe laying down in a chair. Find whatever feels right for you and get yourself settled there, maybe closing your eyes or maybe a light gaze as we begin to tune in into our breath. Gently following the natural rhythm of our breath. And gently maybe observing or getting curious of what your breath has to tell you. Maybe using your breath to tune in into how you're feeling today. Or just in general, getting curious and tuning in to any sensation or feeling that arises here. Setting the mood, the curiosity you're setting for the rest of the class. So we want to get curious with any feeling or sensation that arises throughout the class. Setting that mindset of curiosity. And as any sensation or feeling arises, we're gently going to observe it, respect it, be with it, and finally honor it as we let go. And this process is one that we'll repeat with any sensation or feeling that comes up throughout today's class, or maybe even throughout the whole holiday season. It's a good practice to observe without judgment. And this is how we're going to show up to ourselves today and express gratitude towards ourselves for everything we are, by honoring ourselves completely and respecting all parts of ourselves. If your mind wanders, just gently coming back to your breath with that curious mindset. So if anything arises, we can go through the process of being with it, respecting it, and honoring it. Gently, we're going to shift our attention to create an intention for this class. We're going to set an intention of make it your own. Fill in the rest of this sentence. I am grateful for. And if it's tough to come up with something to be grateful for right now, you can always be grateful for your breath. And this is the intention that we'll use throughout the class, with every movement, every breath, coming back to this intention. Gently bringing your hands into Anjali Mudra in front of your heart. Bowing down your head towards your hands, towards your heart. Repeating your intention once again. Honoring it. And gently blinking your eyes open, bringing your hands onto your knees. From here, finding a long spine. Shoulders broaden, feeling your sits bones ground. And we're going to do circles around our hips, just beginning to bring movement into the spine, the hip area. Just making this your own, maybe rounding your back, staying a little longer wherever it feels right. And keeping present with your breath. Trying to incorporate every part of your spine, maybe even your neck. And whenever you're ready, towards the other side. As you focus in your breath, you keep your intention present, giving you a purpose and somewhere to dedicate all this energy that we're putting into the class. And gently coming back through center. Keeping that long spine, feeling almost as if you'd have a little wire that pulls through the crown of the head, almost separating your vertebrae a little more. And we're going to take our ear towards our right shoulder, our right ear towards our right shoulder. Chin in towards the chest, left ear towards the left shoulder. So half circles, and from there towards the other side. Beginning to loosen any tension that we might be carrying in our shoulders and our neck. Gently taking your time. And lastly, we're going to meet all with the right ear towards the right shoulder. And we're going to take the right hand, gently placing it in the side of the head. And the same weight of the hand is going to weigh the head, opening the whole left side of the shoulder and neck. Holding here. And other side. Left hand towards the left side of the head. Making sure you're relaxing the right shoulder. And coming back through center. Placing your hands in front of you. We're going to meet in a tabletop position. Hands under our shoulders. Knees hip width apart. And finding our way into some cat-cows. Inhaling, opening the chest, looking up. Exhaling, rounding the back, tucking the tailbone in, looking in towards your navel. And continue at your own pace between these two poses. And as we come into these repetitive positions where the breath guides the movement, it's a really nice place to repeat your mantra or stay present with your breath and your intention. Couple more times. Again, making this your own. If you want to wiggle or twitch in some other way, feel free to do so. And last one, we'll meet back through center. Shifting our sits bones back towards our heels, child's pose. For this child's pose, you can either choose your own version, either knees together or knees apart. Lengthening your arms forward. And if it's available to you, we're going to bring our hands to look up towards the sky in a prayer pose. If this feels very light, you can always place a pillow under your elbows to make it a little deeper. As we open the chest, gently maybe closing our eyes. I'm grateful for today. Coming back to your intention. Making every movement, every breath, an expression of your gratitude. And gently releasing the hands, coming back into a tabletop position, lifting the right arm up towards the ceiling, twisting open towards the right, left hip crease pulls back, maybe looking up. Inhale, and on the exhale, bringing the right arm under the left, as if you were threading a needle, placing the back of the right shoulder on the mat, resting the side of the head. Feel free to keep the left hand where it is, or maybe you can take it behind you, opening the left shoulder slightly as well. Closing your eyes, we're going to stay here for a couple breaths. Hello, Ramona. And placing the left hand back onto the mat if it wasn't there. Coming back through center, other side. Lifting the left arm up as you pull the right hip crease back to square off the hips. Keeping the twist in the spine, not in the hips. Maybe looking up, holding here. Inhale. And on the exhale, threading the left arm under the right as you place the back of the shoulder on the mat. Releasing the side of the head. And maybe the right arm goes behind you if it feels right. If not, just leave it on the mat. And we'll stay here for a couple breaths. Gently, if your hand is not on the mat, taking the right hand back onto the mat, coming back through tabletop position. Coming into our first down dog of the class, placing your toes onto the mat, lifting the hips up. Feel free to make this down dog a little wider than usual. And coming onto your toes, bending the knees. We're going to take a couple seconds here for you to do whatever feels right in your first down dog. I like to bend one knee and the other as I begin to lengthen the backs of my legs. But gently we'll find our way into a regular standard down dog, feet hip width apart if that feels right. Keeping the knees slightly bent so you can really find a long spine.
So all the way from your hands to your sits bones, there's a straight line, one line of energy. And holding here, taking a deep inhale and sighing it all out through the mouth. From down dog, beginning to build a little fire to warm up and get into the poses a little softer. We're going to shift into plank, from down dog into plank in a dynamic way. So in the inhale, coming through plank, shifting the shoulders over the wrists. On the exhale, shift back into down dog. We're going to repeat that 3 more times at your own pace. Inhaling, moving through your breath, not letting the hips sink in plank. And continue finding the rhythm between these 2 poses. After your 4th plank, we'll meet in down dog and shift one more time into plank. This time we're going to hold the plank for a couple breaths. Trying to keep the breath fluid, not letting the hips sink, belly button lifting. 2 more breaths. And gently shifting the hips up once again. Separating your feet a little wider than hip width. You're going to walk your hands back towards your feet as you let your hips drop, coming into Malasana. For many, it might be a little strenuous to place your heels down. Feel free to let your heels lift. If you have a blanket, you can place a blanket to support the heels. If not, trying to place the whole foot on the ground, hands in front of the heart, as you push your elbows against the knees to open the heart a little more and lengthen through the crown of the head. Holding here. Inhale, and on the exhale, we're going to lengthen the legs and coming into a rag doll. So feet are a little wider than hip width. Our torso is hanging heavy. Maybe the knees are a little bent. And we're going to do a spinal roll all the way to standing. If you have any problems in your low back, it might be better to do this with a straight back. This is supposed to feel good and sort of bring movement into the spine. Gently pulling the belly button in, we're going to lift one vertebrae at a time, letting the head hang heavy. Last thing that comes up is the head. Shoulders roll back. Crown of the head lengthens. Bringing your feet hip width apart. Inhale, arms up. On the exhale, open the heart, widen the hands, reaching back. And hands in front of the heart. Gently walking our way towards the front of the mat. Inhale, arms up. On the exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. On the exhale, plant the hands next to the feet. Step the left foot back, keeping the right foot between both hands. Placing the back knee down, the back of the foot. Lift the torso up, low lunge. Shifting your hips back slightly so your knee is over your ankle and your tailbone is really lengthened down so you don't crunch your low back. Arms reach up. Inhale. And on the exhale, lower the hands down, placing the back toes down, lifting the back knee, step it back, plank pose. Placing the knees onto the mat, lowering your chest between your hands, sliding through cobra. Downward facing dog. Other side, lifting the left leg up, keeping the hips squared. Bringing the left knee into the nose, placing the foot between your hands, lowering the back knee down, the back of the foot, low lunge. Reaching the arms up. Feeling the crown of the head lengthen, the low ribs are tying in. And lower your hands back to frame your left foot, placing the back toes down, lifting the back knee, bringing the right foot to meet the left. Forward fold. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold, coming all the way up to standing. Hands in front of the heart. Other side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hinge forward, swan dive down. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plant the hands next to the feet, and this time step the right foot back. Lowering the back knee, the back of the foot, low lunge. Keeping the hips squared so the left hip crease pulls back, keeping the left knee over the left ankle. Inhale. On the exhale, lower the hands to square the left foot, placing the back toes down, lifting the back knee, step back into plank pose. Lowering the knees down, lowering the heart between the hands, chest, and slide through cobra. Reaching the crown of the head up. Maybe you can find a little more length in the arms as you warm up your spine. And find your way into downward facing dog. Lifting the right leg up. Reaching the right knee into the nose as you gently place a foot between your hands. Low lunge. Lifting the torso. Reaching the arms up. Squaring off the hips. Inhale, and on the exhale, lowering the hands down, placing the back toes onto the mat, lifting the back knee, stepping the left foot to meet the right. Forward fold. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Hands in front of the heart. We're in a flow meeting in downward facing dog. Inhale, arms up. On the exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head, lift halfway. Exhale, step back through your vinyasa into plank, either knees down or not. Chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Now this transition might be a little tricky, so feel free to pause the video and watch and then do it, or try to follow. I'm going to take it step by step. We're going to bring the right knee into the nose, placing the foot between your hands. You're going to place the back knee down, the back of the foot, and you're going to lengthen the right leg, bringing the left shin, so the back shin, parallel to the back of the mat. From here, the toes are facing the side of the mat, and you're going to walk the right hand along the right leg, lengthening the left arm next to your ear. Inhale. And now gently come back through center, planting the left hand onto the mat. The hand is aligned with the knee and the foot, reaching the right arm up. Lifting the right leg up. Pushing the hips towards the front of the mat. Don't let the hips sink back. And as you push the hips forward, you're going to bend the flying leg, reaching for the back foot with your right hand. Pushing the foot against the hand, opening the heart. Gently releasing the foot, lengthening the leg, placing the leg back down, lifting the torso, coming back from where you came from. So bending the right leg, lengthening the left leg back towards the back of the mat, placing the back toes down, lifting the back knee, step it through your vinyasa. Plank pose, chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Other side. Left knee into the nose, placing the foot between your hands. Lowering the back knee down, the back of the foot, lifting the torso up. So you're going to lengthen the left leg as you bring the back shin parallel to the back of the mat. The toes, the left toes are facing the side of the mat. You're trying to plant the whole foot down as you reach the left hand towards the left. Inhale and come back through center. As you place the right hand down, the right hand is aligned with the knee and the foot. Left arm reaches up as you push your hips forward, lifting the left leg. Don't let the hips sink, so you're not sitting into your hips. The hips are pushing forward, bending the flying leg, reaching for the back of the foot as you open the heart. The foot pushes against the hand, opening the shoulder, the whole front body. Gently, with control, lengthening the left leg, reaching the left arm up, lowering the foot, coming back through center, doing the reverse of what we just did. So bending the left leg, coming through your low lunge, stepping the left foot back, plank pose, chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Inhale, and on the exhale, step your feet towards your hands, coming into a forward fold. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale, forward fold, and come all the way up to standing. Hands in front of the heart. We're going to come through one Surya Namaskar A, one Sun Salutation A. To get into the groove, into the flow, feel free to do it at your own pace. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head, lift halfway. Exhale, step or float back through your vinyasa. Upward facing dog. If you're an up dog, knees lift. Downward facing dog. Three rounds of breath in your down dog. Feeling the sits bones reach up towards the ceiling as your shoulders broaden. And bend your knees, look forward, step or float towards the front of the mat. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold, coming all the way up to standing. Hands in front of the heart. We'll continue meeting in downward facing dog. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, lift halfway, lengthening the spine. Exhale, step or float through your vinyasa, meeting in downward facing dog. Once in down dog, bringing the right knee into the nose, as close into the nose as possible, placing the foot between both hands. Lowering the back knee down, the back of the foot. Lifting the torso, low lunge. Make sure the right hip crease is pulling back, squaring off the hips. Arms reach up, and we're going to open our arms like a T. So arms open to the sides. Broadening the collarbones, opening the chest. Inhale. And on the exhale, you're going to take your right arm over, left arm under, giving yourself a big hug. Try to grab the backs of your shoulders. Maybe tucking your chin slightly. Just open those shoulders. And gently release, opening the arms to the sides once again. And placing your hands back down to square off the right foot. Lengthening the right foot, half splits. From the half splits, make sure your hips are over, your left hip is over the left knee, and the right hip crease is pulling back. Maybe you're pushing through the heel. Heart lifts. And walking your hands back to the front, low lunge, reaching your arms up. Bending the back knee, you're going to go to grab the back foot. It might be a lot on the back knee, so feel free to place a blanket or a pillow to support the back knee. And if you can't reach, you can always use a strap or belt. If not, just hold the low lunge. We're pulling the knee towards our glute, opening the left front hip. And gently release, reaching the arms up, placing the hands back down, step it back through your vinyasa, or feel free to skip them and just meet in downward facing dog. Other foot, other side, stepping the left foot with as much control as possible. If not, if it doesn't reach, assist it with your hand. Placing the back knee down, the back of the foot, low lunge. Reaching the arms up. Low ribs are tying in, so we're not splurging the ribs towards the front of the mat. And we're going to reach our arms towards the sides. Opening the heart. It's almost as if the heart wanted to lift up. And this time we'll wrap the left arm over the right, giving ourselves a big hug, broadening the shoulders, the upper back. Squeezing into the midline to keep the balance. And gently opening the arms up to the sides, once again lifting the heart. And placing your hands back down, squaring off the left foot, half splits. Pushing through the left heel to open the back of the left leg. Heart reaches forward. Breathe. Hamstring openers can be very deep for many of us. And gently walking the hands back towards the front of the mat, squaring off the left foot, low lunge. Reaching for the back foot with both hands. Trying not to splurge the ribs out, just to reach. We're still keeping the belly button in and up. Low ribs tying in. And gently releasing, lengthening the arms up, placing the hands back down, going through your vinyasa, meeting in downward facing dog. Your vinyasa can mean skipping the vinyasa. From down dog, we're going to begin to cool down and come onto the floor, bringing the right shin close and towards our wrists into pigeon pose. So opening the hip, bringing the shin or the right knee towards the right wrist, lengthening the left leg back, making sure that our hips remain looking forward, so we're not splurging our hips out to the side. As we find our hips looking forward, we inhale, taking a deep inhale, and on the exhale, release forward. Maybe making a little pillow with our hands to support our forehead as we stay here for a couple breaths. Surrendering completely, offering this deep pose towards our intention to express gratitude. Gently lifting the torso up. We're going to swing the back leg forward, lengthening both legs towards the front of the mat. Finding a long spine, pushing through the heels, all toes are facing up. Opening the chest.
Inhale, and on the exhale, lower down. I like to place my fingertips tenting my hands and walk my hands forward to really reach the heart forward, so we're not just crunching our way down, but creating more space through the spine as we lower. And gently coming all the way back up, placing your hands behind you. We're going to keep the sits bones grounded. We're just going to lift the heart up, opening the chest, broadening, rolling the shoulders back, broadening the chest. Looking up, opening the heart. And gently coming back through center. We're going to cross our legs back into down dog for the other side. Pigeon pose on the left side, bringing the left shin towards the mat, opening the left hip, making sure the right leg is reaching back, opening the heart. Inhale. And on the exhale, gently surrendering towards the front of the mat. As we surrender completely in this pose, let's offer our surrender to express gratitude, to honor ourselves. And now gently lifting the torso up once again, swinging the right leg forward, lengthening both legs, Paschimottanasana, as we fold over our legs. Trying to reach the heart forward. Maybe that means that you won't lower as much, and that's fine. Try to do this as gracefully as possible. Shoulders broaden back. And gently lifting back up, placing the hands behind you once again, keeping the sits bones grounded, just reaching the heart up as we roll the shoulders back. Maybe looking up towards the ceiling if it feels right. And back through center, neutral spine, bringing the right foot in towards the chest, reaching the arms up. As you twist over towards the right, either hugging the right knee in or placing the elbow outside of the right thigh as you twist towards the right. Maybe looking behind you. Finding the crown of the head lengthen. And back through center. Lengthening the right leg, bringing the left foot in, making sure the sits bones remain grounded. We're not jamming our foot in. Inhale, arms up. On the exhale, twist over towards the left, either elbow outside of the thigh or hugging the knee in, whatever feels best. Placing the left hand behind you to keep a long spine, to support a long spine. As the sits bones ground, the crown of the head reaches up. And coming back through center, lengthening the left leg forward, Dandasana. Sits bones grounded, bringing our hands, Anjali Mudra, in front of our heart as we bow down, taking a second to come back to our initial intention. And as we bow down in gratitude. I hope you have a beautiful day. Happy Thanksgiving. And remember, We always have something to be grateful for, even if that is just our breath. Namaste.